us to listening to these amazing stories. This is a stamp that we are doing the right thing. So thank you for staying. We have 5 more to go, and I know you will want more when that is done. You will say, Kirudiwe. They will say they want it repeated from the start. That's what it means, Vahait. I'm saying, when we finish, they will say they want to repeat it because it's really, really good. Good, thank you very much. So the next one up is a finance professional with 18 years work experience across technology, FMCG, and professional services fields. She has held finance roles of increasing responsibility, serving companies in the markets across East, Central, and West Africa to solve their most pressing challenges in the area of financial management and value creation. She does cherish building high-performance teams and leading through change. We're talking about author Rose Chelangat. Welcome to the stage. You clap until she gets here. You clap until she gets here.
Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you.
And I have a question for you as well.
Okay.
Can I ask you the question?
Yes, please.
And then you go?
Yes.
Great. Your question is, why is it the ability to effectively manage complexity important for a leader?
Thank you. So in my chapter, I focus on sort of the big lessons that I've learned over that 18 to 20-year experience working across the fields mentioned. I remember very vividly starting working at 22 years old. And looking back then, I think there are really big lessons that I would want someone who is taking a role or who is already there, sort of reflecting on those and just having their journey, hopefully better, easier, and even growing faster. Going back to the question I've been asked, why managing complexity is extremely important for any leader. You know, when I had that question, I'm very privileged. One of my colleagues I work very closely, actually a number of colleagues I work very closely with are here. And a few weeks back, I remember telling one of them, whom I was trying to get him to take up a project. Hi, Jerry. And I was like, you know, a big part of being prepared for anything is actually mental, yeah? It's sort of placing yourself in that space, meditating on it, sort of thinking through what does it really take, how am I prepared, how am I not prepared, and how do I get to that space where I'm prepared. And, you know, we are able to do so much, more than we even appreciate that we can do. And so when it comes to complexity, I think a big aspect of any leader's role is actually managing complexity. Think about, you know, the operations you manage, the size of the team, even the diversity of the team. I think in any business environment right now, you probably have at least 4 to 5 generations, right? Right from our Gen Zs, even some alphas are already working through, you know, the millennials like us here, you know, to the older generations. How do you manage that? Think about all the stakeholders that you actually have to manage. Also think about if you checked your payslip lately, there are taxes you pay now you are not paying over a year ago. Think about the currency for Kenya. We probably depreciated by about 30-something%. All those are things that leaders in any organization have to manage because they still have very significant outcomes that they have to deliver for stakeholders, for shareholders, even for their own staff, yeah? And so it's both internal factors in any organization as well as external factors. And I can't talk about external factors without mentioning the work of this futurist called Kashio Jame. And he talked about Barney, you know, the current world being brittle, anxious, very much non-linear, and being incomprehensible. Yeah. So BANI is the acronym for that Bani framework. And it was basically to talk about how the turbulent world is just not straightforward anymore for anyone to actually manage. So what does that mean? Yeah, that you no longer sort of put in inputs very certain about a particular outcome, right? There are a number of scenarios influenced by both your internal factors and external factors to actually achieving whatever objective you're setting out to. It also means that you might actually have one outcome or the other in spite of all the effort and all the work you put in. So what does that ask for? To manage that Bani world complexity, to manage that diverse environment, the complexity from that diverse environment, there are a number of things that that demands of every leader to be able to actually deliver on that. And, among them is, for example, a very agile approach, right, to dealing with things, where you're no longer just fixated on one way of doing things, being able to move very quickly and course correct should you have things not going as planned. It also means drawing in from your very, being adaptable, so being a very proactive leader who is able to look around the corner and being able to anticipate the changes. And also being a lifelong learner. Now, we talk about lifelong learning, and if you look at what all these authors have talked about, they're actually talking about learning and even getting better with time. Yeah, and that's also part of managing complexity. One of the best reports I always like referring to is the World Economic Forum's Future of Work reports. And it talks about, some of the jobs that are getting even more and others that are actually running, sort of getting out of fashion, right? And I mean, they also quote lifelong learning as a very important factor. And so I have a challenge for everyone. Considering that we are basically concluding that there's a lot of complexity every leader has to manage, including the technological changes. So if you manage any role in any organization, let me give you a challenge as I close my answer to that question. Yeah. Just go and discuss even with a colleague. How can you leverage emerging generative artificial intelligence to predict, prepare, and navigate these inevitable complexities? And why? Because what we are saying is every leader must be a lifelong learner. Every leader must be comfortable with managing complexity, navigating the terrain, identifying the opportunities so that you steer your organization not just to succeed, but also to thrive, and not just to win, but also to conquer in the market. Thank you.
Ooh, thank you very much. Thank you, Rose. And also just for bringing that conversation about the Bani world, the complexities. I always enjoy that conversation. And that tells us we must always have continuous learning and adopting. Thank you very much. So a Maxwell certified trainer, speaker, and coach, Dr. Caroline Wanjiko Munene.
I can also say that from the other speakers, I was not told I should bring my mother. So I forgot to invite my mother, and the next time I come with my mother. So that it's actually a really beautiful gesture to acknowledge the people who brought us up and the way they have poured into us. And I'm sure they are very proud when they see us, making progress. So next time I'll do this. Asante sana. I speak on transformation a lot. I am in love with transformation. It is, for me, I think, what makes the world go round. Transformation is a big thing, and it impacts every area, whether it's of leadership, whether it is a family, whether it's relationship. It impacts every area that we are in. I must say I'm coming from 30 years of corporate life. I've been in the corporate world for 30 years. now transitioned full-time into coaching, training, and speaking through the Maxwell leadership module. As I speak about transformation, I also start from myself with respect to transformation. Transformation, for me, the first thing, and she talks about the key, is that transformation will only come if you change. And I must say, I wanted to transform, but I didn't want to change. So I thought about transformation, and I wanted to have the things or the fruits that come from transformation, the success that transformation brings. I wanted to have the good life. I wanted to have resources. I wanted to have deep and beautiful relationships that I could count on. I wanted to build for my future. I wanted to be prepared for my retirement. I wanted the things that transformation brings. The only thing that was a problem was I didn't want to change. So in my corporate world and in my family, I would walk around telling people how they should change. That was my message. If I met somebody, I would tell them, you need to change. If I'm with my husband, I tell him, you need to change. If I'm with my colleagues, I'm telling them, you need to change. If I'm with my daughter, I'm telling her, listen, you need to change. And one day we locked eyes with my daughter. And she told me, you are the one who needs to change. It was a wake-up call for me. And it was, of course, a big argument. She's a hothead also. So we started arguing. And I was telling her, no, you're the one who has to change. She tells me, no, you're the one who has to change first. And then the message got home that I needed to change. So I had to sit down and call myself to a meeting and say, Caroline, if you want the things that you desire, and if you want a good life, you cannot escape changing. You have to sit down, look at yourself, and decide, make a decision and be intentional that you're going to change. And for me, my learning points in leadership and in the corporate world is that personal change and personal transformation is essential for you to move forward. It is a bridge that will give you the other things that you are looking for. And that is how I began my journey of transformation, transforming my life, my relationships, transforming the work that I was doing in the corporate world, rising in leadership because I wanted higher levels of leadership. It is only through change, through transformation, that allowed me to sit at very high levels of leadership because I accepted the responsibility and the burden of changing myself. So I stopped asking my husband, can you change? And I started changing myself. And the more I changed, the more he changed. And the more I changed, the more my daughter changed. And the more I changed, the more I got results from my life. And the more I started enjoying my life, and my life became a wonderful story of somebody who can recreate themselves, can reinvent themselves, can achieve the dreams that they wish to achieve, and that can climb to levels and ladders that they never thought possible before. So my story is, you need to sit and make a decision that for transformation to come, you have to change. And that's an important decision. That is the starting point of transformation. If you try to recreate anything else, you're working backwards. You have to go back to the starting point. The starting point is personal change. And this is you need to do. Very important lesson for me in my corporate world. And of course, now that I'm a full-time coach. Second thing, after this realization, is the idea of self-awareness. Is the second foundation to transformation. You cannot change something that you don't know. You cannot change something that you don't acknowledge. You cannot change something that you don't accept. So the issue of self-awareness and self-audit is central to transformation. And unfortunately for women, we are disadvantaged in self-awareness because we are caregivers, because we think about everybody else, because we have all these guilt trips about not focusing, like you're not important, that you cannot put yourself first, that you cannot think about yourself, that you cannot get data about yourself. So women, to some extent, and in my view and in my journey, this is the biggest disadvantage that women have. That they have shelved self-awareness so that they can attend to other people, so that they can attend to other issues, so that they can attend to leadership, so that they can attend to things that, and then you have been left without the most critical component of transformation, self-awareness. So you must, as women, create time, be intentional, and do what you call a personal audit. Deep and detailed, not glossing over the surface. If you talk about your strengths as a woman, you got to unpack them completely in every way possible. If you are a woman and you cannot name 30 strengths that you have, there's an issue. Big time. Because there should be more than that. So take it seriously, unpack what are my strengths, acknowledge what are my weak areas, acknowledge what are my blind spots, acknowledge what are my challenges, acknowledge what are my habits, acknowledge all the things that appertain to you as a person. And open a book and write these things, because we know so many things other than ourselves. And that is the beginning of transformation. So those are my only 2 points I would like to bring for this forum. Is decision. You change. You have to. Self-awareness. You got to do it. And there's no limit after that. The journey you can walk as a woman is a high and big and beautiful journey. Thank you very much, MC.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Caroline, for your wisdom. Wow. Are we gaining some wisdom or what? If you think we are, just say yes. Oh, yes. Thank you very much. Loads and loads of wisdom. We appreciate you, all of you. The next one up on the stage is Diana Moreka. She is a change agent and a problem solver with a strong commitment to advancing social and gender justice. She has been instrumental in advancing transformative change by providing technical support to social development programs in Kenya and across the global south. I have a question for you. Take the mic and welcome to the stage.
Thank you.
And the question is, what are the 2 key lessons on strategic capacity building highlighted in your chapter that you would say have been fundamental in positioning for opportunities?
Thank you so much, Hannah. So I have to put this down here because I have a very powerful quote that I want to share at the end of what I'm supposed to speak about. So I'm really excited to be here and appreciate my friends who are here and colleagues, and also appreciate Zion Publishers for this really privilege of becoming an author. Yeah, so in my chapter, I've talked about quite a number of capacity building strategies that I've been able to employ and have worked for me in terms of positioning for roles and, growing up the career ladder and in my leadership journey. So today I'm just going to point out 2 that are very crucial and have been alluded by most of the authors that came here. And they got to do with the internal barriers, okay? Internal barriers that hinder us from attaining our full potential. The first one is believing in yourself and facing your fears, okay? So for a long, long time, I lived a life of really fearing to take challenges, okay? A promotion will come, I'll be told, apply for this, come for the interview. I'll be like, can I really do it? Maybe next time, let me wait next year. I'll see a very good job that is a very good fit. I'm looking at it, I'm like, I really can be able to apply for this job, but I'm like, am I really ready? Let me get this one more thing and the other thing. So over time, I realized I was stagnating in my career. And it hit me that I had to do something, okay? So I called me, myself, and I for a meeting, as many of us have said. Very important. Call yourself for a meeting. It's very important. I started reflecting on why am I not rising, okay? Despite having these degrees, adding this other degree, these skills, you know, quite a number of years of experience, okay? So it hit me that I was suffering fear of failure, okay? Fear of failure. So I had to really make a very, very intentional decision that I will not let failure or fear of failure hold me back, okay? So what I decided to do is to begin facing my fears head on. And this transformed my life completely. As Henry Ford puts it, the founder of Ford Motors, if you believe you can, and if you believe you cannot, you're right, okay? So that has been my driving force throughout my career, okay? So when I started employing, facing head on, even if there's a job advertisement or a promotion, I only qualify 50%, I will apply for it. And believe you me, I started getting those jobs, okay? So I had to work on my mindset and start speaking words of affirmation to myself and telling myself that I can do it. The second strategic, or rather lesson that I've learned is cultivating a growth mindset and taking action, okay? So reflecting on where you are, where do you want to be, and what do I need to do? What kinds of tools, what kind of resources? Do I need a coach? Do I need a mentor to help me in my journey? So this kind of reflection has really helped me. And for me, having a vision board is non-negotiable. So I have a vision board, and on a daily basis, I journal, okay? So I journal putting down what am I excited, what has been exciting about today, 3 things. What did I do very well? And what areas do I need to improve? So this has helped me to continuously grow as a person. The other thing is be open to feedback. Most of us do not want to hear the bad things. You only want to hear the good things. So be open to feedback, good and bad, but it's up to you to also sieve the kind of feedback that comes to you, because not all feedback is meant to really grow you. Some feedback is from a bad place and can really completely destroy you. So be sure to sieve what comes and pick what you're sure is going to help you in your journey, okay? So as I conclude, I'm sure I've taken less than 3 minutes. I want to read a quote from a renowned American poet, human activist, and one of my favorite authors, Maya Angelou. Make every effort to change things you do not like. If you cannot make a change, change the way you have been thinking. You might find a new solution. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing. We appreciate that. What did the janitor say when they jumped out of the closet? What did the janitor say when he jumped out of the closet? Supplies. I know, always gets me. All right, so the next one up is a technologist, public policy and program management professional who has dedicated her career to championing digital technology skills for the youth in Kenya. I'm talking about none other than Edna Karijo. Welcome to the stage. Welcome to the stage. We clap until she gets here. We clap until she gets here. Thank you. Thank you so much. We appreciate your work. We appreciate you. I'm about to ask you a question. Edna, in your chapter on leveraging technology for social impact, what would you consider as your top 3 professional accomplishments?
Thank you so much, Hannah. And first of all, Hannah, you are remarkable. You've done a fantastic job emceeing this event. Let's give Hannah a round of applause.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
So my name's Edna Karijo. I'm a technologist, public policy and program management professional. I have been championing digital and tech skills for the last 8 years. And I'd like to share with you three things based on what Hannah has asked. So the first accomplishment and one of the most significant points of my career happened last year. I belong to a society for tech people. It's called the Internet Society of Kenya. It's a community of over 2,200 techies in Kenya, and it's an international NGO as well. So last year we were having our elections for the Executive Council, and as always, there's more men in the tech space than women. And so what happened is the call for applications was put out for those who wanted to serve in the Executive Council, and I put out my name. We went through a rigorous process of campaigning and getting voted into the positions. And to my surprise, I was re-elected into the Board of Trustees. And what was even more surprising was I was the only female in the 12 officials who were elected into the Executive Council. And for me, that was quite a life-changing moment, I'd say, because it meant that I had to now start asking myself, why didn't other women apply for the role? Why didn't they vie to get elected? And it also meant a responsibility for me to start encouraging more women into vying and just being active in the society. The second thing I'd like to share was last year as well, in my journey championing tech skills, I traveled to Dadaab. It's a refugee camp in Garissa. How many of you have heard, or at least, okay, at least we have, 2 people, 3, thank you. 4, all right. So yeah, I traveled to the refugee camps, and we were doing a project. We were supporting the Norwegian Refugee Council to equip the youth there with digital and tech skills. And I spent more than a month there, and I'd say if you had asked me, 8 years ago in my tech journey, if I'd end up there helping young people, find work, find employment, who have never been outside a refugee camp because either they fled there from Somalia or many other countries, and for them, that's their life. So for me, it meant something deeper, and taking on a leadership role there, guiding the team, leading the project also was quite significant for me. The last thing that I'd like to share is I've learned over my leadership journey, it's very important to have a supportive community, a supportive work environment as well. I'd like to appreciate my boss who is in the room, Mr. Ken Mwenda. He's right at the back. Please give him a round of applause. He's the managing director at eMobilis. It's a tech and digital training institution, and we equip young people with tech skills to prepare them for the future of work. So what I've learned is if you really want to succeed in the corporate space and in your leadership journey, having a very supportive environment is key, and most importantly, having a supportive boss or supervisor who champions women leadership as well is really key. Lastly, of course, my family. I'd like to thank my mom, my brothers, my sisters. My elder sister is here, Ida. Let's appreciate her. Thank you so much for joining in. So, and to all the remarkable women who've authored, Volume 3, Volume 4, congratulations, and I encourage everyone to buy the book. For me, I've co-authored Volume 3. My topic is on leveraging technology for social impact. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Edna. And for you being a champion in that regard, we appreciate you. Whenever we're talking about personal branding, you must be thinking of what cause you support, what injustices you go against, and then be loud about it. And the women in the room know that loud doesn't mean shouting. Yeah. The next one up, as we get to the end of this session, is a policy and communication specialist, professional, whose expertise spans from years in several industries, namely floriculture, architecture, education, maritime and shipping. She is the head of, excuse me as I flip the page. She is the head of membership, advocacy, and communications at the Kenya Flower Council. And she tells me that her happy place is a cup of freshly brewed Kenyan tea. I'm talking about Lina Jamwa. Welcome to the stage. Welcome to the stage. We appreciate you and we love Kenya tea, don't we all?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. I'm going to ask you a question. In your chapter, you did liken leadership to a journey. Over the years, what is the one thing that has stood out for you regarding leadership?
Okay, thank you so much, Hannah. I think what has stood out for me is you have to keep moving. And the bit about talking last is that you have the final word. So yeah, I am. So I grew up a very timid girl. In Nairobi's Umoja One Estate. Those days, it was glorious, not like now. Yeah, and one of the things I always like joking about is that I used to blend in so well with the furniture. If anyone walked into the room, because they will not know me, I will be the girl seated at the very far end and minding my own business and not bothering to look at anyone. Actually, making me stand in front of many people like this was a nightmare. It was akin to putting me in front of a gun. But with time, I grew out of this, and I tell people, I think I opened up right about when I was in the university, because from this very young, timid girl from Umoja One Estate, I got to a point where I was a campus journalist, yeah? And now I used to go from one corner of the university to the other to collect news. And one time I found myself standing, and if you've been to the university, of course, politics goes like, just what happens in the normal society. You stand and you have to, people heckle and people are loud and you have to pass your policies. And when I got myself standing to maybe introduce the politicians at that point who are coming to talk to the students, I asked myself, oh my God, what happened to me? How did I change from this timid girl from Umoja One Estate to this girl who was now talking to people? And yes, it has not been easy. My journey has not been very easy. It has not been marked with a lot of flowers and a lot of accolades and all that. But what I know is I am here and I'm here now. And as many of the other authors have said, yeah, and even Dosso in his speech actually quite elaborated, women, we start from one step behind our male counterparts. So what does this mean? We have to come back and really prove ourselves. We work twice as hard as men to confirm that we are worth being in a leadership position, to confirm that we are politicians, for example, and we are leading a certain constituency, to confirm that we are leading in the boardroom. And maybe one thing that Tari didn't mention in her speech is that, if you're a doctor and you're a woman, you hear people saying, who is it? It's the female doctor. Yeah? Who did that? It's the female engineer. Yeah. So those are common things that people say. Yeah. And they come from a point of maybe innocence sometimes. It's just maybe somebody not realizing the impact of that. But then they actually get to women. And one of the things, and I'd like to encourage all of us authors who have stood here and all the women in the room, KPMG did a study a while back, and they found that 75% of women in executive positions actually have suffered from imposter syndrome at any one time. What does that tell us? It is a normal part of the process. And if anyone here is asking themselves what imposter syndrome is, it is a very overwhelming feeling of self-doubt, okay? Like you stand, you want to talk, but you even run out of words because you're wondering, will I say the right thing? Yeah? Will I do the right, will I stand in the right way? Will I be listened to when I stand? And it's always the inner voice that is talking to you and telling you you can't. Yeah? But guess what? 99% of the time, it's usually wrong. Okay? So ladies, we can rise above imposter syndrome, and we can actually go ahead and get those. We've been told how many? More than 30? Yeah, positive. Yeah, exactly. More than the 30 strengths that we have, and we write them down, okay? So for me, I think in my chapter, I liken leadership to a journey, because just like a journey is, you move from point A to B, you start from somewhere, and you have a destination at some point, okay? So some of the things that I mark out in my story are 3. Number 1, you are enough. And we have to keep telling ourselves this. At some point, I walked, over the years after getting into senior leadership, senior management positions, I walked into a boardroom and asked myself, is this the timid Lina who grew up in Umoja One Estate? Yeah? Is this the timid girl? Are you now making corporate decisions? Are you now speaking in the corporate arena? Is your voice being heard? Will you even make a difference? Will you even make a change? But you see, one thing that I've learned over the years is to talk to this inner self, this still voice that speaks to me, and tell it that I am enough. Okay? So if I could quote from Cheryl Rickman's book, you need to remember 2 things, that you are enough and that you belong there. Okay? So the other thing that actually works a lot for me, my successes and failures are all learning points. I know other authors have also spoken about that, but for me, I look at it, yes, I learn from successes, what did I do right, and where can I build myself on? And if I fail, I do not cry there and stay there. I look at, what is this that made me fail? What is this that cost me that win that I was looking forward to? And I learn from it and make myself better. You've heard about making yourself better, being the best version of yourself every other day. I do that a lot. And the third thing is prejudices and criticisms will come. Yeah? But like Diana also mentioned in her speech, you have to learn how to sieve what gets into you, and that will actually remain inside you. Criticism is not entirely bad. I mean, there's positive criticism, okay? Which, if you get feedback from people and all, it actually works well and it builds you, because sometimes when we look inside ourselves, we do not see the real picture that is coming out, okay? So you look at all this and pick the positive and throw away the negative. Prejudices, you just have to work around them somehow. I mean, if somebody calls you a female doctor, yeah, okay, you can choose to get hurt, you can choose to cry, can choose to scream at them, or you can choose to smile and move on, okay? So that is what defines you. And I gained strength from stories from powerful leaders. And if you look at all these powerful leaders around us, if you look at Barack Obama, if you look at someone like Colonel Sanders, I mean, all of them have had a series of failures. In fact, one story that I even quote in my chapter that really encourages me is the story of Colonel Sanders. How many of us know him? Those who have not lifted their hands have not had Kentucky Fried Chicken. Okay. Yeah, so, Colonel Sanders, he was the founder of Kentucky Fried Chicken, commonly known as KFC. And he was born in the 1890s or something like that. And he had a very troublesome childhood that was filled with a lot of diversity. So he started working at around 13 years old. And what happened? He worked and he was failing in his career, failing in any business that he started. He moved from one business to another. He was failing throughout. I mean, if society were to talk to him, if they were to put him aside, they will tell him, okay, by the way, you just give up. But he never did. In his 60s, he started the first chicken selling business, and it evolved into the first franchise for KFC, which is Kentucky Fried Chicken. Where is he now? He passed on, yes. But every time you walk into KFC, you see his face. True? Yeah, so his story really touches me, and it always tells me that it's never too late to do anything. Even if the world looks at you like you're crazy, even if the world looks at you like you're a loser, remind yourself of Colonel Sanders. Okay, so over the years, I have gained strength from very strong people around me. The first one is my husband, seated somewhere at the back.
Let's acknowledge him. Thank you very much. Thank you.
His name is Daniel, yeah. And one thing he always tells me is just start. Yeah, just start. I always, as women, and Hannah was mentioning it here, we talk. I mean, back and forth. He looks at me and he tells me, my dear, just start. Do it, period. And his words are very heavy and powerful, few but very powerful. I would also like to recognize my sister-in-law. I have two sister-in-laws who have been very, very instrumental in my life. Coincidentally, they both share the same name. They're both called Sheila. So the one that is present in the room is my husband's sister, and she always pushes me a lot. In fact, sometimes along the journey you want to give up, but she's like, yeah. If you give up, what happens next? Yeah. And the other Sheila is my brother's wife. I know she's watching online, yeah? And she always tells me she has 3 beautiful daughters. Sorry, when it comes to family, I get emotional. Yeah, so she tells me, my daughters look up to you. You're their auntie. So you have to walk knowing that these ones are looking at where you're stepping. And she always pushes me on. In fact, she's helped me a lot to deal with the imposter syndrome. She comes and tells me, you know what? Sometimes you post and you want to unpost. You want to delete something. She's like, let me ask you. Isn't it you who got that achievement? So what happens if anybody else thinks otherwise? You got the achievement, didn't you? Post it. And she always checks and confirms that I have not deleted the post. Yeah. So I'm really grateful for having been with the also powerful people around me. And 2 of what I call my greatest fans, unfortunately, were promoted to glory last year. Those are my parents, my mom and my dad. They both passed away in a span of 4 months apart from each other. But I know they'd be here today, and I know they would really be clapping loudest in the room. Yeah, so without much ado, thank you so much, Hannah, for this. Thank you, Dosso, for this opportunity.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Lina, for sharing. Indeed, just start. You are enough. You belong here. So the last author I'm going to introduce is not here with us. I'm going to introduce Sonali Shah. She was supposed to be here to co-host with me so that my mouth doesn't dry out. But she wasn't able to join us. And that's why you've seen my face from the beginning to the end. I hope I didn't bring out a tired face at all. No, thank you. Thank you very much. So Sonali Shah is also one of the contributing authors. She was supposed to co-host with me. She is an experienced executive, business and self-leadership coach, a creative public speaker trainer, and workshop facilitator, having given many inspiring, motivational, and educational speeches across the globe. With over 20 years of experience in the field of coaching and training, Sonali's expertise is in creating a space in which people can realize their own potential. She would have wanted to be here, but something came up and she was not able to join us. Let's celebrate her as well. Thank you. I would like to ask, is there any author that I left out that is in the room here that didn't send the questions? Is there any author who didn't send their profile but they are here with us? We would like to give them this opportunity to come and introduce themselves and talk about their chapter. Anybody? Going once? Going twice? Okay. Looks like we've covered everybody. Oh my goodness, how was that? Did you count the others? And we all sat and listened, and we could have listened even more because it was so powerful. It was things we want to hear every single day. So thank you. We appreciate you. We want you to come on stage so that we can appreciate you, all of you authors. Come on stage, come on stage, come on stage. Let's appreciate everybody. Come on stage, come on stage. Let's appreciate you. Let's appreciate these authors. As maybe somebody takes up beautiful photos of the authors, let's appreciate, we're going to appreciate them until every last of them comes here. Let's appreciate them. Let's celebrate. Okay. Got it. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, let's do this. Just a quick one. We're going to take another photo later. This is just a quick one, just for celebrating them. Take those photos, take those reels, tag them on LinkedIn, tag them on Instagram, tag them away. They have done a fantastic job. We celebrate them. We celebrate you. We celebrate us. Yay! Good job. Thank you very much. I think we can take our seats now. Thank you. We appreciate you. Yes, you can ask one question as we get into the next session. Thank you. And this is your microphone. Yes. Actually, guess what? I'm going to take 3 questions. 3 is good. And you can target it to any of the authors. Thank you.
Hi. My name is Florence Probst. When this lady spoke about Colonel Sanders, I thought about myself because I am 63. I retired. I'm back in Kenya. I've started something. If everyone Googles on YouTube, Bustani Luxury Cottages, they are in Voi. And every time I kept on saying, he started actually at 65. I'm not yet 65, I'll do it. And I was facing a lot of challenges because before that, briefly, I had worked in Kenya. I was the only female head of department in the district I worked. Those times there were districts, and my driver was called Dereva wa Mama. And it didn't matter. So we've gone through a lot, and I have people I feel this book is good for. My own sister, she's hosting me. My daughter, I have only one daughter, she's in the US, and I wanted to find out. I'm not sure who I'm going to ask this question, Hannah. I counted the books, they are in five packages. Can I get a discount? I buy 5 of them to gift to women whom I feel they need to hear that.
Yes, you will, and you can.
Yay!
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you very much and for sharing. Thank you. We appreciate that. Can we take another question or even comment? I'm allowing for 3. Another question or even a comment from the audience? Is it that the wisdom was too much? Yeah? Okay, great. Here you go.
Thank you very much for this opportunity. Good evening. Mine is just to applaud and really cheer on the ladies that have stepped forward to be able to lead the way and show us that we can also have a voice, we can speak. In the academia, we say you publish or you perish. But I'm now seeing that as ladies, we need to speak for others to be able to listen, for others to be able to follow, to be the light that leads the others. So congratulations to all the authors. We cheer you and we will follow you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We appreciate that. One more. Can we take one more? One more comment or question? Going once? Thank you.
So good evening to the audience. So my comment to the ladies present here, you have no idea how much impact you've had on me. Genuinely, as a young girl who only looks up to Oprah Winfrey or reads book about Michelle Obama, this is very enlightening for us as young girls to look up to our own African women, being us to spearhead change amongst women, to share with us your experience that women can also make it, women in patriarchy, women in corporate. As a young, fresh graduate, this definitely helps us to look ahead and to see where and how we can navigate towards the entry level of adulthood. I genuinely appreciate it. I've been impacted. I have my newfound hero amongst you, so I'll approach you personally. But all of you are amazing heroes, and we appreciate you, and we love you so much.
Thank you. We appreciate that, Risha. Totally appreciate it. So we are moving on to the next session because there is no book launch without cake. So we're moving on to that end session where we're going to cut the cake. But why did the author go to therapy? To do what? To turn a new page. I like that one. Fresh. I love that one. To turn a new page. Why else? Because his characters had too many issues. Mic drop. Good stuff, good stuff. So in the next thing we're going to do, I would like to invite, first of all, let me read it right, the professor of languages and linguistics, the dean of School of Humanities and Social Sciences at the United States International University, Professor Martin C. Njoroge, to come on stage. Thank you. Come on stage. We clap for him until he gets here. Professor, yes. I just want you to just make a few remarks. Tell us how you feel. Did we represent you properly? Did we behave ourselves? Did you enjoy? And then we can cut the cake after that. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Hannah. You saw me sit here through. In fact, I was getting calls to go and meet people in the office. I didn't want to go because when you share your story from your personal experiences, you touch the hearts of people. So as I was seated here listening to all your stories, I was so moved. In fact, I had to step out a little bit, then I came back. Yeah. Every one of you, your vulnerability, you have taught me something, Joanne? Is it Joanne? Joanne, that I can go to the mirror and speak to myself, and that's therapy. I didn't know that. Because most of the time we deal with issues, and let me share a story, because today is, I just want you to know how you have helped me. Today I'm remembering my brother who was murdered as he came from work by Mungiki people. He was a teacher, a person who would never even hurt a fly. He was the best in the family. You know, in a family there's the best one. He was. John was. And today is the 17th year since he was killed. And I've never been able to process that loss. So today was, even as I came here, I was just feeling very low, because I'm remembering 17 years from 2007, 2nd of February, when he sadly died. So as you share that, now I know what I need to do. I'll go to a mirror and talk. Even as I hope to go and meet with the psychologist. I think there was a sports psychologist. Oh, she left. Yes. Yeah, so as you shared your story, just know, you are touching us in ways that you never know. And I'm sure I'm speaking on behalf of the very many people in the audience. Your story, it reminded me of my life in the US as a black man, in a very conservative area. And I remember the first 3 months was so tough for me, because it was until when I was given the opportunity to present that they realized there was something between my ears. Otherwise, they thought you're from Africa, you don't know anything. But what I realized is that when they realize that you know something, they even want to become your friend. Yeah, so your stories touched me, and I didn't want to go. So, Radido, there's a lot we can do together. Yeah, because even here, right here, we have men and women, professors, who have such stories. Yeah, men and women who have so much. Most of the time here in the university, what we do, Hannah, if you remember, we publish about our research. We publish books that students can use in high school, but we don't remember that those professors are human beings with feelings. Like now, you didn't know I was dealing with something when I was seated here, but that's a story I can tell how I've dealt with it for the last 17 years. I've never spoken about it. But because of this, I have talked about it. And like something has been lifted off me. So I came to represent the university, but I didn't know I was here to be helped. Thank you very much, Hannah. You have done a great job moderating. I know it's not easy, but let's clap for her. She's done a great job.
Thank you, Professor.
And then, of course, seated next to the senator. Thank you very much. We read about you, we see you. Now you are here at USA. You feel welcome. On behalf of the VC, on behalf of the DVCs, I'm here to represent them. Feel at home. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Really, really appreciate that, Professor. Appreciate. This school produces great people. Yours truly? Thank you. Amazing. Thank you very much. We are a product of this university, both my undergraduate and my master's degree. You know, I love this space that they allow you to grow and to become. And they support you as well. Thank you very much. Now we've come to the last part of this event, the beautiful parts, the other beautiful parts of this event. Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests, it is with great honor and pleasure that I stand to introduce a distinguished individual whose presence graces our event. Our special guest embodies excellence and has contributed significantly to leadership in this country. Notably, she has contributed in drafting the Kenya Kwanza Women Chapter, signed by the President, William Ruto. She has sponsored bills in Parliament, notable of them, the Data Protection Amendment Bill. Senator Gloria Oroba is passionate about menstrual health, women's empowerment, and social equality. With a background of architecture, social work, leadership, and management, she believes in addressing the root causes of stigma surrounding menstruation through education and awareness for both men and women. Without further ado, please join me in extending a warm welcome to Senator Gloria Oroba, our guest, chief guest of this event. We appreciate you. Thank you very much. Can I shake your hand? Thank you very much. We appreciate you. And now I'm going to give you the mic. You can stand here or you can use the podium, however you want it. Thank you.
Good evening. You know, I am a good student of protocol. So allow me to first acknowledge the Office of the Vice Chancellor, Dr. Odubekun, the Deputy Vice Chancellor, Dr. Victor Boyo, Professor Martin Joroge. She leads project manager, that is Radido, and all the authors and the leaders of this particular book that we have here today and for this occasion. And obviously, all honorable guests who have come to celebrate this very, very powerful particular engagement. Did I get it right? I am Gloria Oroba, and I happen to be an intern at the Senate of Kenya. I say an intern because I'm specially elected by my political party, United Democratic Alliance, and so therefore they call it a nominated senator. So you get 5 years to learn the ropes in Parliament so that after 5 years, you go out to the electorate and get votes and come back as an elected leader. So I'm an intern at the Senate of Kenya. So when I got this invitation, I was like, I'm just an intern. Why do you want me to come and talk about what? What leadership? Who leads where? I see it's she leads. She leads who? How? When? You know, we don't think about those things until the invitation comes and it's like, wow, such an honor. So I'm very, very happy to be here and I'm actually very excited. Obviously, when I get this kind of invitations, there is one thing that comes in. It's called the imposter syndrome. It's like, they didn't call the women rep, they called me. Ama hiyo event inakaaje? How does that even, you start, because it's doubt. There's always, as an African woman, whether you like it or not, and whether you've been brought up in the most progressive and whatever environment, there is something in there, and you're always doubting, and it's like an instinct, and you always have to fight it. And it's every day. It's like you wake up in the morning and you're healthy, and you're like, I'm a kichwa inaniuma, it's a doubt, yeah? And you have to battle it constantly and constantly. So when I got this invitation, obviously I was like, wow, this is big. Why me? So I was listening to our very engaging MC introduce me, because I needed those affirmative words, It was like listening to you third party, yeah? Like, she's our honorable, and yeah, she's honorable. And she's known for, oh yeah, I did that one. I actually forgot about that data protection bill, because so many things happened, and then a lot of other bills came. So it was like a reminder, yes, this is why, so that when I now hold the mic, it's like, yes, I belong here. And I have something to offer this world. So I'm very happy to be here. I'm known to tell a lot of stories, but today I'll keep it very, very direct. I want to tell you that I had a recent meeting, and we were arguing, as an activist, a feminist, people, all topics somehow lead to women are being disadvantaged, So you come from a point of defense all the time, yeah? And I was arguing with this person. And they said to me, Senator, listen to me. All our lived experiences are dictated by the access to power and privilege, and not by statute. And I was arguing back, and I said, have you heard what umesikia kenye nimekuambia? I've said all our lived experiences are dictated by the access to power and privilege, and not by statute, not by the laws, not by the bills of rights, not by the theoretical things that are, as a person on this planet, your lived experience is dictated by the amount of power that you have, the amount of privilege that you can access. So then it allows you to either go to a good school or go to a bad school. It allows you to live in the ghetto, or to live in a middle class, or to live in the high end. It's all connected. Power, privilege, and access to it. And when I thought about that, I was like, you're right. He said, yeah. So don't tell me about bills of rights. Don't tell me about any statute. Don't tell me about law. Because we all know those things are theory, and those are not lived experiences. So the argument was about, it was about a lot of things, but it came down to, what are you doing to ensure or to help that person who does not have power and privilege or any access to it? Because their lived experiences, whether you have a constitution, a law, a book, or it will still be tied down to power and privilege. And for a very long time, I used to think that I'm a servant leader, This is what I do. I serve people. And you guys should clap for me. I give a lot of pads to many girls, Clap, clap, clap. I'm a servant leader. I take all my salary and like 40% of my salary, it goes to all this community, and nobody is even seeing that. I don't even have CDF. I'm a servant leader, And this one statement that this person made to me got me thinking, shit, you and your servant leadership, power, privilege. For as long as power and privilege is not accessible to that person, you need to think about what you're doing in that space. So it made me factory reset. And I was like, what am I supposed to do? I said, well, you're a leader. If you know that everybody's lived experience is attached to power and privilege, ask yourself, as a leader with power, privilege, and access to any office, what can you do to change someone's lived experiences? I said, oh, okay. So it's not about giving pads. I can't give pads. You give pads, but okay. So it's not about talking to women. Talk to women, but they go back to their homes. They have no privilege. They have no power. They have no access to so many things. So always tie it down to that power and privilege. So I said to them, I've never thought about this in this context. And the servant leadership have been taught or have been raised or have read to know is that you serve people. And they told me, from today, serve people a dose of power and privilege. So I say, how? They said, you have power. Power is not in titles. I've had someone saying, I can't remember which speaker they say, was that you? You said, power is not a title. Power manifests within us. You know? For instance, I'll give you an example, and I won't say names because I might get in trouble politically. But we used to have Michuki. And Michuki became the minister of, you remember? Of transport. He was just power. Something about how he carried himself, how he handled his affairs, the impact of every decision he made, and da-da-da-da-da-da. So from that day, from that Michuki time, everybody would say, I want to become a minister of transport. Right? But you notice, it's not the office, it's the office holder. Yeah? And there are many of these kind of examples, you know, that people will say, oh, I look up to this. This person is so powerful, right? And I'm sorry if I keep giving political examples, references. When you're in that world, it's like your whole world is just full of politics. I'll tell you a very short story so that you get the background. I came back to the country in 2019 after a very extensive career and family life outside. I lived in the Netherlands for a couple of years. I worked there. I moved to Denmark. I moved to Sweden. I moved to Sweden, and then I moved to Denmark. Then I was like, I'm tired of these white people. I need to go back home, eat ugali, and feel like I'm not the minority. So I came back home. When I came back home, the only thing I wanted, because I came back to be a politician, I used to tell people, I'm going back home to be a politician. I didn't even know which office I'm going to vie. I just knew I'm going to be in politics. Because I've been told those politicians are the ones who change how things work. So I'm going home to be a politician. So when I reached 2019, the first conversation I ever had about this was with my sister. And she was like, which political party are you going to be? What do you believe in? Who do you know in politics? How will we put you in there? Just, random conversations. And I just used to tell her, I just want to meet the deputy president. I just want one photo with the deputy president. And she used to think that's so amateur. You need to think bigger than a photo with the deputy president. But at that time, there was a vibe, There was some vibe about this guy. So me, when I came back, I was like, I just want to meet the deputy president. I just want just one photo. And then after that, I'll figure out what I'll do in politics. So we call that short-term goals. It was a short-term goal. So anytime the people around me will try to advise me, I would keep bringing them back to, I just want a photo with the deputy president. I don't know what you people are telling me. I just want a photo. So as fate would have it, I went on. Oh, there's something. Sorry, I didn't get your name. Lina. Lina said you don't have to take all the advice because some advice breaks. Was that you? Some advice breaks you. Some advice is meant to. Yeah. You were saying that, and I was thinking the first person in a political office I went to told me, you are not a politician. You are nobody. We cannot bring you into our team. We don't actually even, you're wasting my time. And then the one thing they said is, I can't, even when I Google you, nothing comes up. They were like, have you tried Googling yourself? Obviously not. So I was like, but it was a bad meeting in the afternoon on a Wednesday. And they said, go and be someone and do something and then come back. And one other thing they said is, ata hauko kwa TV. You're not even on the TV. You're not on TV, you're not on Google. And you want us to embrace you in our camp. For what? What for? So I went home. Unfortunately, I didn't have your advice at that time, so that really broke me. And it brought me down. And I went home and I slept. I switched off my phone. My sister was trying to tell me, siasa ni ngumu, you know, don't worry, it's like this. When I woke up, I just said, but you know that guy told me I've never even been on TV. So I said, TV, just TV. That's all it takes. Just TV. So I called my friend. I said, I'm back. I need to be on TV. And she was, I said, I need to be on TV. Hey, listen, I need to be on TV. These things that I normally tell you in bars, in whatever, I want to go and say them on TV. You know? What do you call those people? Show me analysts. I said, yes. I want to be an analyst. So she told me, okay, let me make a few calls, but maybe in 2-3 weeks. Huh? And then I forgot about it. Then in like 3 weeks, she said, hey, there's an interview that I can't make, and I've told the producer to call you. I was so excited. I went on TV. And my sister just said, be yourself. Just be yourself. You see, the way you normally talk to us here and you lecture us and you tell us this, just do those things, but now on camera. I said, that's easy, just that. Okay. So the topic was about some expatriates. Why am I calling them expatriates? Immigrants. Some foreigners who had come into the country and they had been swindled of money. And it had happened allegedly in the deputy president's office. I'm sure you all remember a time like that. And the whole focus was, poor guys, you know, they've been swindled. A lot of money. And they are white, you people. These people are white. And their money has been taken away from them. So front newspaper. And you know, me coming from Europe, you know, it's like an activist. The first thing is like, why? Why? Do you know how many Kenyans have been conned? Forget about inside offices. Do you know how many black people every day my Safaricom, I feel like they are taking my data. Nobody takes me on TV. Nobody puts me in the front of the newspaper. So my view was completely not political or anything. It was really from my lived experiences, again, you see, which was lack of power and privilege in a country outside that is defining my thought process. And now my thought process is, let's not talk about that. So I went on TV and I said, why are we talking about this? This is a non-issue. This is, first of all, were those people in the country legally? You know, did they have work permits? They claim to be business people. Did they have work permits? Because me, I know if you step like this in Sweden without a work permit and you claim to have been swindled money because you are doing business, my friend, you should be in jail, you know? So I said, did they even have work permits? What's happening? I was from my lived experience of this, what you're doing is wrong. This spotlight you're trying to shine on this particular issue, that should not be what we are discussing, right? And I didn't realize that was an opinion that is not popular. So the next day when we woke up, all the newspapers, front page, expatriates were in the country illegally. They did not have work permits. One had a tourist visa, blah, blah, blah. So my sister calls me and tells me, where, Glow, have you seen how you've changed that narrative? I'm like, Ata sijui saini sangapi 6 a.m. I open the newspaper. Oh my goodness, that's what I said. I've been saying that. You know, it's because these people are foreigners. That's why this, you know. And then I got excited. I literally, like, it wasn't about the issue. It was about the fact that something that I did created an impact heavy enough that all the front newspapers were now talking about, where these people didn't have work permits, right? Then, because of that, and see how God works, and I want to now summarize it. Because of that, many politicians around that time started watching my shows. And for some reason, the producers were calling me. They were like, come for this show, come for that show, come for. So I was just Monday in that show, Tuesday in the next one, Wednesday. Oh, I can also do night shows, you know. I'm liking this. People like my opinions. Let me go and give them my opinions. And I did that for about 3 weeks. And one day I get a phone call. And I'm told, come to a specific place. I'm like, who is this? They say, oh, I want to meet you, blah, blah, blah. You wanted to join politics? I say, okay. Then I go there and they say, we need to go somewhere. I say, okay. You know, I don't know, for some reason also when something feels right and whatever, you don't ask questions, eh? You just follow. You just follow. I'm like, okay, let's go. And within 40 minutes, I was standing before the deputy president in his office. Let me tell you, you people, you guys, you remember when I came back, I said, I just want one photo. What? I don't even, people are talking about Twitch, but me nataka picha moja, one photo. So obviously I was like, wow, okay. Yeah. Yes, my name is, and your mind works 360. You are telling all sorts of stories where you want to be in 10 years, you know, things, many things. But in that moment of telling many things, I actually now, in hindsight, when I look back, I was describing the Women Charter in my, you know, because he asked me, what do you want in politics? I said, I want to be a politician. He said, no, I asked you what? I said, I want to create change. What kind of change? I said, women have been discriminated far too long. I'm tired of this. So that's where I want to come and poke holes and terrorize who needs to be terrorized so that they can stop, you know, with this thing with women. And he asked me how. And then I started, you know how you don't have you just talk about so many things. And I started to talk about many things. And you know, AGPO, this AGPO thing, this is how it should work. And you know this, and you know, but now when I look back, I was describing the Women Charter. Except in my thoughts, in my dreams, and in my visions of being a member of parliament. Which obviously he knew, but I didn't know because I'm excited. I want a photo. I'm back in the country. Everything is just exciting. So he says, okay, join the team. That's how I got into politics, believe it or not. Believe it or not. So, and that also was access to power and privilege. Because the person, I needed to be on TV. How did I get on TV? My friend, yeah? My friend who had power, privilege. That getting on TV, okay, there you can say my skills, you know, my strong opinions sort of sailed me through. But even being able to be called, I needed a phone. I needed a mobile phone for the deputy president then to get to me through an agent or a proxy or whatever. You understand? Power and privilege. So now when this conversation was happening, everything I think about is like power and privilege. So when you say she leads, who are you leading? Where are you leading them to? What are you using to lead them? At the end of the day, whether it's through motivational talks, whether it's through giving people money. By the way, politicians, women politicians, we need money. Give us money. You know, giving people money for all sorts of things. Entrepreneurship. You know, you lead through something, tools, means, resources. Resources might be human resources, might be mental capacity, might just having a friend. By the way, we are very lonely. They say it gets lonely at the top. Be a friend to someone at the top. That in itself is helping them, you know, it's leading them. But I'll tell you this. That one moment for me that connects the dots has to be, you have to first of all know where you're going. You know, because if you don't know where you're going, every phone call, you'll go that direction. Yeah. And I think it was just that strong sense of, I have to come back home and I have to be in politics. Beyond that, I didn't know. Whether I'll fail, whether I'll pass, I didn't know. Those two things. And then the rest sort of started defining. It was like, okay, now once I've got it, by the way, I got the photo. Oh yeah, let me tell you. It was like, yes, nice to meet you. And I'm like, is it okay? I always ask. Because if you've heard my speeches before, I always say, there's something I am shameless. And I always tell people, dare to be shameless. You'll always get what you want. So I said, yeah, can I, Your Excellency, can we have a photo? Sure. So there was, where everyone used to get the photos that time in Karen? If you go on my LinkedIn page and scroll down, the first photo is there. I'm in blue and a yellow jacket. I am so proud of myself on that day. And I'm like, yes, discussing youth policies, blah, blah, blah. Those quotes that we put on LinkedIn. And I framed that photo and I was like, that was the beginning of so many things ahead. And now, back to why I'm here. She Leads. That's what we are launching today, the book. Congratulations to all the authors, by the way. I have been writing a book since 2014. 2 characters in that book have already died. Like, in real life, they have died, No, you understand. Like, I've been writing that book so long, 2 characters have died. Literally. And I was like, now, Daddy, how did you die? I was going to launch this book. Now you've died. You understand? There's another character also who has died in there. I'm like, I need to finish this book before everybody in the book dies, So I know what it takes to write a book and deliver the book. And because clearly I haven't gotten to that space. And I hope that after this, somebody will hold my hand. I need to publish that book, man. And then the thing is, you keep writing and writing. I don't even know how many chapters I have now. It will end up being like an encyclopedia because... I wake up, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm facing suspension. This idiot. Then I type, it's like this part of my life. And the good thing about that, when you go back to read like 2015 things, I'm like, wow, I was in a dark space, And then you read 2022 pages, the year 2022, Obviously, I was sworn in and, and it's like, wow, that's beautiful. You can almost feel the excitement. That's the thing about books. So I need to come to you so that we can finish this book of mine and maybe we can launch it. But let me complete by saying this. As we go out to lead, we should first understand that we have to lead with a purpose. The reason why evil precedes strongly on earth is because evil people are very purposeful, and they are intentional, and they have goals and objectives, and it's like this person must die by all means, So if this doesn't work, they have plan B and plan C and I'm telling you, that's why evil prevails. They are so intentional. Sometimes I look and I'm like, I should be this intentional because it takes a lot of energy, resources, and persistence to get there, And as we lead, we need to be intentional. But intentional to what? We must understand our lived experiences are really directly impacted by our access to power and privilege. So since I learned that, I'm intentional to be the link between people I'm leading and power and privilege. To be the link between people I think are following me and maybe the privilege that they need to get the basic rights. So I'm always now asking, what is the link here? What am I doing? Period poverty. Okay. We can't give pads till we die. So we need to be the link to ensure the poverty ends so that there is no period poverty, So we need to give access, the privilege of people having jobs. So how does my office help, So now even my team, I've told them, guys, what are you doing? What are you doing? We are the link between whatever darkness here and that power and privilege that people deem and see fit to be able to get development or get to where they're going. And then it becomes easy because if the things you're doing are not providing the link or providing the power and privilege, it's simply a waste of time. So you drop it, Now we have a checkbox. What is this doing? Where is the impact? Who is getting assisted? Nobody. It's for PR. Drop it. drop the PR because we're already having enough good PR. We don't need good PR. We need to now be impactful. I've noticed that everybody has given a quote, so I felt the pressure. And by the way, I wanted to quote myself, because I also, I think I have good quotes, you know. I was going to say that, guys, dare to be shameless, Because that's my quote. I always tell people, women, don't be shameless. Dare to be shameless. Because shame is that thing that stops you from, it's literally the thing that stops you from being successful. It's a fear of people looking at me, laughing at me, the fear of failing. That's in itself some shame. The fear of not being liked. That's something. And there's a shame attached. By the way, shame has been weaponized by the patriarchal society. It's like, you will marry that guy. Because if you don't, you will shame your parents. And you marry the guy, You will do this because if you don't, society will see you. And you're like, okay, I have to do this. As a politician, you cannot appear to be philanthropist or what, because you'll be, and you find yourself dying lonely. So it's kind of like shame. Shame has been weaponized. And if you dare to be shameless, the day you'll wake up and say, guys, me hata sijali, me hata sina haya, me I'm not even shameless. I have no shame. Everything starts being easy. You walk into a meeting like this, it's your time to speak. You say, I'm sorry, guys, I need to go and pee. And it's like, that was easy. Why did I have to stand there like this the whole time? Things just become easy. So my quote is, dare to be shameless. But because we all have to have mentors, and I've been asked many times, who is your mentor? And, people are sort of, there's like a mystery around this person because obviously the period incident. So, people want to know who is this person. So my mentor is a lady called Ingrid Betancourt. Has anybody heard about her? Nobody? You have her. Ingrid Betancourt is a politician from Colombia. And I had my first encounter with her through Oprah. I used to see her shows and her talks, and I was like, I started Googling her. So Ingrid wanted to become the president of Colombia, a woman. She was like, by the way, even she was like our Martha Karua, I can be the president of Colombia. What does it take? Oh, there are some gorillas, these people, these terrorists, they're in the forest there. What do they want? Why can't we embrace them? Let me go and see them and sell to them my manifesto there in the Amazon jungle. And tell them, guys, calm down. We can talk about these things. What do you want? Power. You want power? We can give you a constituency or something like that. I imagine how she was trying to negotiate. And then she was kidnapped. So she landed with the chauffeur, with her campaign manager. I'm always telling my campaign manager, wewe kama you're not willing to die with me like Ingrid. And they landed, and when they were in the middle of, they were kidnapped. And obviously they were kidnapped because that's all those people do. So I don't know, her visionary mind was telling her, guys, these are human beings like us, and leadership takes convincing and what. So Ingrid landed, was kidnapped for 7 years. 7 good years. She was living with the gorillas there, that group, the terrorist group. And in the 7 years she was kidnapped, obviously their politics proceeded, they got a president, they were not going to wait for her to come out. But she tells her story. In the 7 years she was kidnapped, her whole team ended up conforming. Some had children. They just changed it. You are told adjust. They adjusted to their new lives. But she refused. She refused. In one of her quotes, she says, I refuse to be a number. I refuse to be an object. Because the first thing they would tell you when they kidnap you is, you're not Gloria now, you're number 1, and you're number 2, you're number... So they would be called by numbers. And every time they would call her number, she just didn't answer. And at one point, they started punishing the whole group. It's like, oh, you're not going to break, so we are going to punish the whole group. And if you read the version, because all of them who came out wrote books, if you read the version of the other people, they hate her. They are writing how she made their life in captivity so difficult. Because you have to read all the versions. But when you read her book, she says, I refused to be a number. I refused to be an object. And another quote that gets me is she says, she had a problem of dignity. So she held on to her identity and her dignity. And every experience, if you read her book, it's called Even Silence Has an End. Every experience in her book is about how she refers back to dignity, individuality, knowing yourself, and it doesn't matter who or what is happening around you, but she knows, I'm Ingrid Betancourt, I'm a politician, I'm a change maker, and she lived with that truth. And my favorite quote, which I'll end with, from Ingrid Betancourt, I have to read it because I don't want to misquote her, is she says, in one of the interviews, she says, you don't master fear. I think she was asked, how did you manage? The way people ask you, hey, you went to parliament, hey, with periods. Hey, how was that day? And you are trying to look for an answer. So she was asked a question of something, and she said, you don't master your fear. You are not able to say, I'm not going to be scared. But what you can do is to say, okay, I'm very scared. But I have to do this, and I have to do this, and I have to do this, and I have to do this. So it's understanding that you're afraid. It's not, you can't deny you're not afraid. You can't deny that you're not feeling certain ways, imposter syndrome and everything. It's understanding that, okay, you have to, but regardless, you have to do this, and you have to do this, and you have to do this. That's my best quote by Ingrid Betancourt. There are so many, but that one, because it reminds you, one, as a leader, as you lead, you're a human being. So you have feelings, you have emotions, you get affected by people, by things, by environment. But so what? You still have to do this, and you have to do this, and you have to do this. And that's what keeps you going. That's the resilience. So I want to end there, and I want to challenge you to not master your fear, but to understand that regardless of that fear, regardless of that anxiety, you have to lead. So you have to do this, and you have to come for this event, and you have to speak, and you have to deal with the social media critics, and you have to deal with the people who think you're not the conventional leader, and you have to deal with your marriage issues and your family and the societal expectations, and you have to deal with your boss, and you have to deal with who. So you have no choice. As a leader, you have to do this and this and this, regardless of what you're feeling. So thank you so much. I don't know what protocol we need to observe.
Wow.
Maybe
Can we
you
be
can guide me.
upstanding to appreciate her? Can we be upstanding to appreciate her? Thank you very much. Thank you. We appreciate you for the powerful words. We really appreciate you. Thank you. That was powerful. Thank you. You may be seated. Our esteemed senator would like you to honor us by cutting the tape and launching this book and cutting the cake as well. Is that okay? Good. So we would like you to come to the front, and we're really waiting for that book as well. Yeah. That is music to Mr. Dorso's ears. So he will make sure you're in the volume 4. He will make sure you're in volume 4 of She Leads. How does that sound? Fantastic. Volume 5. Volume 5. Yes, volume 5. Welcome to the stage. You can still have the mic. And then I would also want to invite a few other people to the stage. That would be Mr. Dorso. Please come to the stage. I would also like to be honored by the presence of Professor Martin Njoroge to the stage as well. Could you come to the stage? And also, if we could have Janet from the Zion Power Publishers, please come to the stage as well. Thank you. Come to the stage. Thank you for the amazing work you are doing. As she comes, just to tell you that USIU really, really promotes developing talent. They really promote talent, they develop talent, and that is why we are where we are, because of USIU. And because of that, I would like to invite to the stage the current and the reigning Miss USIU Africa to come on stage, Zion Mogesha. Welcome to the stage. We would like you as well to honor us by helping us to cut this cake. And so is that the space we're going to cut it, or do you want to bring it a bit forward? Janet, you want to bring it a bit forward? Okay, good. Great. This is fantastic. I think this is good space to start. Is there anybody else? I don't think so. And then she's going to cut for us the tape. We're going to give her the scissors to cut the tape.
I have the key. I have the key.
You have the key. And then after you cut that, you're going to declare She Leads Volume 3 and 4 officially launched.
How much is this book?
How much is this book?
3,000 bob a copy.
3,000 bob.
3,000 shillings.
Okay.
Thank you.
Because people were asking me, and I was like, I'll find out. So
3,000 shillings. And as she does that, we would like Janet and your team to make sure you spread the whole confetti. When you're ready, let me know, and we're going to be cutting this tape. Are you ready? Okay, good. So you're going to come and cut it from here. I think this is a good spot. You want her to cut this one? Not this one? Okay, great. Yeah. Okay, that's fantastic. How do you want us to do this? Do you want us to do the five claps? To do 5, 4, 3, 2. When I get to 1, she's going to cut it. Is that good? All right. So, do you want to come a bit closer? Yes. Thank you very much.
All right.
All right. Please go ahead and do the counting,
please
Mr.
take me the
Doxo.
photo with the senator,
Yes.
please. Just one photo.
Yes.
Just one photo. Who knows what will happen next?
just one photo.
Go ahead and do the countdown.
All
for
right.
us. Yes.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Let's
Come
go.
on,
Let's go with the confetti. Yay! Good stuff. Fantastic. Oh, more. There's
Thank
more.
you.
Thank you very much. We appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hold the copy.
Yes. Thank you very much. Do you want to do the declare for us? She Leads Volume 3 and 4 officially launched.
I am honored to pronounce that She Leads Volume 3 and Volume 4 officially launched.
We're still going to ask for more. Would you be willing, we would be honored if you helped us to cut the cake? Thank you very much. Could you kindly just, and you will eat the cake as well. Thank you. If you could just cut for us, just a ribbon of the cake, and then we're going to open it up. Thank you. Just with the scissors, the ribbon, and then we're going to take it off. The scissors is right here. Sorry about that. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. Yes, thank you. Thank you very much. Can we celebrate her? Can we celebrate? Thank you. Thank you very much. We appreciate this. Go ahead and cut the rest. Thank you. Thank you very much. We appreciate you. We're still going to ask you to stay on stage so we can do the actual cutting of the cake. Thank you. As they open the box up, I would like for all the authors, because we celebrate you, to come on stage so that we all cut the cake together and take beautiful photos. So could you kindly come on stage? Thank you. Just remove the whole box, please. The box itself. Remove everything.
Congratulations, Alima, Dr. Caroline, Dua, Elizabeth, Wasuna, Emma, Hannah, Joanne, Lois. I have taken over the MC job. Lois, Marian, Susan, Sonali, Vanessa, Wiz, and Winnie Sigay. Congratulations. A round of applause.
Thank you very much. Perfect. All right. Where do you want us to stand? Side by side? Okay. Thank you very much. You go first. Thank you. Appreciate it. Okay, good. All right. Let's go. Do you want to do the countdown again? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Kata keki, Madam Senator. Thank you very much. Thank you. We appreciate you. We appreciate you. We appreciate all the authors. Congratulations. It's been a journey, isn't it? Yes, and it just started because we're going to write and write and write and write again. Thank you. We appreciate you. Thank you. Yes, please stay seated. Are you good with the photos, Kelvin? Are you all good with the photos? Okay. That's good? You're good with the photos? So that we can go and sit? You got it? Okay. Thank you very much. Again, congratulations. You would like that? No. Yeah. Oh, okay. Thank you very much. We appreciate you. We appreciate you. Thank you. So, do you want to say something? Because I'm calling the USIU person to close this occasion for us. Yes. Okay, just now. Okay. All right. So we would like you again to come again on stage. I know the confetti is all over, but it looks beautiful. Please come so that Mr. Dosso can appreciate you officially. Please come back on stage, Senator. Thank you.
Well, good evening again. Have you enjoyed yourselves? Has it been nice? Wow, this is so good. I just want to take this opportunity to really thank you. First of all, to shake your hand officially. Photo, please. Photo. Aki nyinyi watu wa photo mnaniangusha na pengine hii ndio hiyo kitu, eh? Wow, thank you. So, to appreciate you for coming, I know what it means for you to be here. All the things you shelved for you to be here, we really appreciate you for that. And thanks for speaking to our hearts. You have spoken so powerfully. We will remember to be shameless, because when we get shameless, it becomes easy. You have helped me. So I'm also going to help you that book of yours. Mm-hmm. It's about time. Yeah. Before I become the president. Yeah. And when you become the president, please remember us. Especially me. So thank you. Thank you for coming. So what I want to do is just to gift you with something small here. And I will call two ladies to help me give you this gift. One of them is this wonderful mama over here. Yes, you. Yes. I want you to come here and help me give this gift. I know it's a surprise, but you will do it. The other person I want to call to help me give this, you stand here, please, is a person that started inspiring me and challenging me when I didn't know who I was. She believed for me things I could not believe for myself and spoke for me when I could not speak for myself. And that's my elder sister, Margaret Radido. Please come. Yeah, this is my elder sister. She's like mom to me. Sometimes she tells me those hard things. I have to listen, you know. These elder people sometimes are like parents. They will summon you and tell you things. So she did that. There's a time I was very stubborn, but she just loved me in that stubbornness. So I asked myself one day, why is she loving me and I'm trying to be difficult? So I decided to stop. So it worked. It worked. So you two will help me give this gift. Where is that gift? You will help me give this gift to the senator. But before that, I want you to shake the senator's hands. And the photo guys will do their thing also. So that we share this power and privilege, right? I am giving it to them as well. Yeah, mommy, please. All right. So all of you will hold this gift for me and hand it to the senator. Yes, then give it to her. Wow, thank you so very much. In there, we have volume 2.
So we have plenty of tea and snack. Hey, oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. Woo! Thank you very much. It was indeed an honor to serve you as the MC and the moderator and also as a contributing author to this publication. My mother-in-law came and my sister-in-law came. Could you just stand and wave? Mother-in-law and sister-in-law, just wave. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. God bless you and thank you for your support. And of course, I came with my very able personal assistant, Charity. Thank you so much. Let's appreciate Charity. It's been an honor serving you. It's been an honor and a privilege to serve you. Thank you, and again, congratulations. So now, what we're going to do is go and have tea and network a bit, and then you can leave at your own leisure. But I would like to call somebody to come and officially declare this session over. And I'm going to call a remarkable individual who embodies the spirit of service and dedication to her community. She is an esteemed alumni of our community university of USIU. She has not only excelled academically, but has also demonstrated an unwavering commitment to making a positive impact in the lives of others. Now, as a recipient of the prestigious Community Service Award, the copies you got, the individual authors are going to be there, all lined up, and you can take your book and it can be signed so that you say you got it from the author and not from a bookstore, right? Is that good or good? All right, let's go have tea. Let's go celebrate. Is there any music to celebrate this? Is there music we should be singing right now? Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody, for coming. Thank you. We appreciate you. We appreciate you. Is there any music we can be playing? Okay, that would be good.
Go to the other hall. We have set some place there for them
Okay.
to sit and
Okay. So authors, you're going to go to the opposite hall. That's where you're going to be autographing these books, to the opposite hall. So go straight on to the other hall. That's where the signing of the books is going to happen. All the way to the other hall. Thank you.
Just by chance it happened to be here. Yeah, they are not so small. I can see why there's not as many students.
I say, oh wow.
You are even live on TV. You are live on TV.
Which channel? What? But which channel? Oh, Ecola channel. Oh wow. See you.
See you.
See you.